I'm happy to report that El Salvador shines like no other country. Because establishing a Salvadoran corporation in the new Bitcoin City Special Economic Zone is like a zero-tax life hack that lasts as long as you want it to. If you'd like to buy property here, you don't have to pay property tax. If you'd like to earn money here and around the world, there'll be no municipal fees on your businesses and no taxes on income. Want to hire people for your business and personal needs? There's no payroll tax. Your employees get to keep 100% of their wages. I don't know about you, but to me, that's what fair trade actually looks like.
All right, so we have met another Canadian who has moved to El Salvador, obviously from Canada, and we wanted to share his story with you. So this is Tom.
Hello, I'm Tom Ladinrenta. Recently moved here about 2 months ago with my wife and 3 kids, and excited to share my story.
Yeah. So Tom, what was the main reason that you decided to come here from Canada?
What's your why?
Yeah, so we are like many Canadians who are living abroad, medical refugees, as I like to say. COVID refugees. We saw what was happening in Canada and it frightened us, and we were becoming increasingly concerned my wife was working as a nurse. She was fired from her job. At the same time, they were enforcing mask mandates on our small children at school.
Right.
Even our 6-year-old at the time,
Right.
being forced to wear a mask at school. They were implementing the vaccine passport in British Columbia, and so we were banned from going to restaurants, swimming pools, movie theaters, all these kinds of places. And we saw what winter would look like. It was going to be, we weren't allowed to sign our kids up for any kinds of lessons. And so we thought about spending that winter in Canada, and we thought about how hard it would be telling our kids, no, we can't take you to swimming, we can't take you to, the restaurant for lunch, we can't take you to see a movie. And we thought, we don't want our kids to have to live through that.
Right, of course,
And then also at the same time, they announced that they were going to ban unvaccinated Canadians from traveling by plane, train, or bus.
Right.
And so we would be prevented from leaving the country.
Right.
And so this was beginning of October 2021.
Okay, yeah.
And I was reading quite a bit online about what was happening in other parts of the world. Were there better places to be?
Yeah.
And I was following a lot of Bitcoiners, actually, a lot of freedom-minded people that I've started following on Twitter over the past couple of years.
Right.
And some were living in Mexico.
Right.
And so we sold our house, we sold our cars, we sold a lot of our belongings, put the rest in storage, and we took off. We departed for Mexico on October 27th.
Wow.
2021,
so fast.
A few days before the restrictions. We sold our house within 4 days of listing it.
Wow.
We had about 3 weeks from when we decided to when we were packed up. And
so much faster than us. So it took us 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, we had I was a little bit stubborn, but
that's incredible. Yeah. So before El Salvador, did you kind of already into Bitcoin, or did that come with moving, or?
Yeah, into Bitcoin, mostly Bitcoin. I was also, into other cryptocurrencies, shitcoins as we call them at the time. And then, but I was learning, I was reading books and started getting closer and closer to Bitcoin only.
Right.
And so I was very interested in El Salvador. And so we had spent 6 months in Mexico, and we were coming to the end of our tourist visa.
Right.
And so I thought, well, El Salvador had just dropped all their COVID restrictions. They had made Bitcoin legal tender. I was very interested in the place, and so I told my wife, why don't we go to El Salvador and check it out for a while?
What was her initial reaction to that suggestion?
Oh, she liked the idea. She liked it. But then we did see there was some, violence that right before we were about to come, and we were both a little freaked out, saying, should we really bring our 3 small girls here?
Yeah. For those who don't know, I think you're referring to there was a gang pushback that happened all in one day. It was a very bloody day, but the government responded in kind, and there hasn't been a problem since. Let's put it that way. So that kind of gave you pause, though, hey?
Yeah, it did. And so we looked into it. I talked to people who were here, people that I knew on Twitter, and they basically encouraged me to come, and that it wasn't that bad.
Right.
And so we took a chance and we came, and we loved it. We enjoyed our 2 months here. We met a lot of great, like-minded people, and we met fantastic people in Mexico too. We connected with freedom communities all over. There was Canadian medical refugees everywhere we went. and we love Mexico.
Yeah.
But we came to El Salvador, and we met a great community of people in Bitcoin Beach in El Zonte.
Yeah.
And then also we found out that it was a little bit easier to get residency for us in El Salvador, and we met Jeremy from Escape To El Salvador.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So Jeremy handled your residency and everything, yeah.
Yeah, and he was great. He's fantastic. I highly recommend him to anybody who's interested.
Shout out to Jeremy.
Shout out to Jeremy, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy.
Right on. So how long have you been here now?
So we actually went back to Canada to go to my sister's wedding in August, September. That's a whole nother adventure. I don't know if you want to get into, but
were there challenges there? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can imagine what that would be. I worry that YouTube will have a problem with us. About
we don't have to go there.
But there was an app. Okay, you know what we're talking about. There was an app.
Yeah. So needless to say, our experience going back to Canada made us not want to stay there, and then it confirmed for us what we were already feeling, that we wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And so we already started the residency application process prior to leaving.
Right.
And then we came back to El Salvador after.
Right.
And we've been living here for 2 months now.
Right on. Right on. So whereabouts are you, on the beach, or are you in the city, or?
No, we're about halfway between San Salvador and La Libertad.
Oh, nice.
Okay, yeah. So you're kind of central then?
Yeah, so we're quick to get to the city, quick to get to the beach.
Bit of altitude, not so hot.
Yeah, we like to climb it up there.
Yeah, excellent.
It's up a bit higher, not as humid.
Yeah, right on.
So when you're from Canada, it takes some getting used to the humidity on the beach.
Oh yes, yeah. When we walked out of the airport, it was like stepping into a blast furnace. So you probably had the same experience.
Yeah. Once you get acclimated, every time like there's a slight like decrease in temperature, you're absolutely freezing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So what would you say is, since you've been here, has been your best and worst experiences in El Salvador? And it's only been 2 months, I know, but just curious, what's been your best and your worst experiences here?
Best and worst. I mean, best, it's hard to say. I mean, I think it's the people we've connected with.
That's the best part, right?
Yeah, the best part, yeah. So both expats and locals. Like the local people are fabulous, super welcoming and friendly. We've had so many local people who've helped us immensely. Just everything's 10 times harder when you come to a new country, right?
Of course,
buying a car and figuring out everything. And so having local people who are happy to help you has been amazing. And some of the things that pop into my mind are like the Bitcoin meetups. I love those things. The organized meetups in El Zonte. It's so great to connect with like-minded people, which I didn't really have a lot of in Canada. You know, and then I found, I guess, when everything went down the way it did, you realize how little shared values you had with people.
That's right. Yeah, we have found that to find Canadians that we share values with, we had to leave Canada. We had to come to El Salvador to find Canadians that we can,
have a conversation with like fear of like
reprisal. Or some kind of drama exploding from it. So it's great. We know what you're talking about with the sense of belonging in the community here in El Salvador. So they're going to notice if you just gloss over the worst.
No, I'm not going to gloss over. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what the worst is.
I know it's hard to come up with one, isn't it? What was our worst
experience?
Probably the bees.
Yeah, the bees.
That was also awesome.
Had a bee experience, but
well, I could speak to like our experience living on the beach. We were in a beautiful property we rented for a month from Airbnb, but it was pretty rustic. And there was ant infestations every night. There was tarantulas. There was scorpions. So that we're handling it okay. I got my flip-flop out and killed the scorpion and the tarantula. So you get by and you figure it out, but that's a bit annoying.
But you adapt to it quickly. So it's just something that you have to put up with now. From time to time.
And where we live
it's different in different places. Like we've only seen one scorpion where we live. We've never seen a tarantula. In Senzal where we live.
Okay, well.
But we have heard that in some places the ants can be a problem. I guess it's how close you are to the jungle. And Zonte is pretty jungle, so okay. So if that's the worst thing that's ever happened to you in El Salvador is a spider,
that's pretty good.
I'd say we're doing well.
I know, for all the fear mongering people have done, even about like going to Mexico, people said, oh, you're going to Mexico, that's, there's drug cartels, it's so dangerous. And then the same thing when we came here, oh, look at all the gang problems. And we've never had a single negative incident in Mexico or El Salvador, and we've spent almost a year now between the two.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you, Tom, for taking the time to talk to us and to talk to the audience.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
If you have questions for Tom or for us, are you interested in maybe visiting or moving to El Salvador, we want to hear from you. We can connect you with Tom. We can connect you with all kinds of people who can answer all your questions. And of course, we're happy to answer your questions as well.
Yep.
So, all right. Moving on, more Adopting Bitcoin 2022.
All right, let's
All
go.
right on.
Okay. Thanks, you guys.
Right on.
Thank you.
Because while all of those other countries are restricting your freedoms, El Salvador is expanding them. While those other countries are devising clever ways to extract more wealth from their citizens, either directly through aggressive taxation or indirectly through currency debasement, El Salvador has committed to and begun to roll out a more freedom-oriented, Bitcoin-centered policy designed to enrich its citizens. Imagine that. Do we have a long way to go? Absolutely. There's no question about it. But the important part is that the work is being done. Look around you. The work is being done while elsewhere politicians no longer even give lip service to these ideas. In fact, the current business and government community has moved this entire country toward a future of liberty and virtuous growth at a time when governments around the world are publicly saying the exact opposite: degrowth. That's just insanity. You don't have to wonder who is on your side.
Our next guest.
One of the things that happens often at Adopting Bitcoin is we meet people from around the world who aren't just here for the conference, but they're here to stay. And we've interviewed a few since we got here, and we have one here from Germany.
Right.
Do you care to introduce yourself to?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ute from Germany, and yes, I was first in El Salvador from May to August, and in this timeline I decided to come here as an expat, and now I'm here since Sunday, enjoying the conference, and yeah, looking
So
forward.
you've moved here since Sunday.
Yeah,
Like you've been here permanently since Sunday. So like
Yeah.
4 days.
yeah, like 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when we first met you, you were just here and then you were going back. and
Yeah,
then-
I think it was the day when one day before I'm going to go back, and in this time I was there, I decided to move here, and so I had 2.5 months to get my things together and rid of my apartment and everything, and to come here again. And this was kind of my deadline. I set myself, so but it worked out well.
Right, great. So how does it feel to be living in El Salvador?
Has it hit you yet, or you still feel like you're visiting?
Well, I felt like at home the first time I was here already, so that's one of the reasons why I decided to stay. So I'm just very happy to be here again. Looking forward to the time now I have before me here in this country.
Right. So we always ask when we encounter someone who has recently moved to El Salvador.
Yeah.
We ask, what was your why? What was the main motivation to leave Germany, which many people regard as an advanced, developed society?
Yeah.
That why would anyone want to leave to go to El Salvador, which, let's be honest, it's still a developing nation?
Yeah. It's well. First, I think, but it's my personal opinion, that Germany is deteriorating very fast. In many different ways, health system, for example, a lot of taxes, for my health care and everything. So that's the financial aspect, is to come here to El Salvador and don't have to pay that much taxes and have a much cheaper, good health care system, as I've been told. And that was the reason, or the financial reason, to come. And I see that Europe is in crisis, and that it doesn't seem like with the MiCA that this is a law that's going to go in place about the regulation of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin also. It has a more positive outlook now, but it's going to be difficult to really live this Bitcoin life in a way in Europe, I think.
I see. Okay, so it sounds like in Europe there's been some move to kind of contain the Bitcoin phenomenon?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They try to regulate it, and there will be more regulation because this is more like politically, in my opinion, it's more a movement toward more regulation, more policies, more
Right.
bureaucratization,
Right.
and surveillance in a way because of that.
So I think the main argument we hear when they say we need regulation of Bitcoin because it's a gambling casino, it's volatile, we need to protect investors.
Yeah.
Do you accept that explanation, or do you have a different idea of why they're trying to regulate it so heavily?
Yeah, they try to regulate because it's free money, and they want to put in. I don't know if you say if you CBDCs, they want to regulate also with the euro and stuff, and that's nothing I want to be part of,
Right.
And I don't want to, with my taxes, I don't want to support any wars and anything, and that's another reason why I didn't want to be a part of the system anymore.
Right. So there might be people watching from Germany right now.
Perhaps,
we know from the analytics that we have a pretty good audience in Germany. It's not our
I
biggest
see.
segment, but there is some Germans watching.
Oh, interesting.
Do you have any message for the Germans watching? You can even speak in German if you prefer.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to tell them. I just have the feeling,
If they're thinking maybe the grass might be greener in El Salvador.
I can tell them it is.
Which it is, yeah.
Yeah, it is, to get financial freedom, and it's those one-liners like Bitcoin changes you, and don't trust, verify, all those things, I would say, because if I want to be free, I am able to do that, and that's a very big privilege also, I'm financially able to do that. I can just come to this country and decide I want to live here, and that's a big privilege also. And I know many Germans can't do that. But it's my choice for freedom.
Right.
More and more people are starting to peek over the fence, see if the grass is a little greener on the other side. Admit it. Isn't that at least a small part of the reason why you're here in this audience? You want to check the color of El Salvador's grass. I assure you it's quite green. I would also encourage you to reach out to the local community of expats, many of whom are in this room today. I am confident that I speak for all of us when I say we'd be thrilled to have you, happy to help you get set up, established, navigate the system. What I'd like for you to do is to consider in the back of your mind, just imagine, really visualize what it would be like if you took that leap of faith and made this beautiful and optimistic country full of incredibly friendly and kind people, hardworking people, your new home as well. Thank you very much, everybody.